Yuki Matsuzaki told us that he was going to get the Funimation leaks over to Toei to see what they would say about it and to at least let them know that it's a thing and it's not a great look for Funimation. Well, Yuki told us that Toei would be getting involved, but he didn't tell us much more than that until now. Apparently, he's now dropped information that Japan has actually picked up the news, Japanese media. Here you have IGN Japan. A tweet reading, IGN Japan published an article detailing this nauseating leaked Funimation recording. IGN Japan published an article detailing this nauseating leaked Funimation recording. There's a translation. The voice of the US version of Dragon Ball Z. Dubious remarks against blank, because you know the terminology. If you've listened to the audio clips, you know what they said. It was a number of offensive remarks towards certain groups of people, and that's the gist of that. So let's take a look at the article itself. Welcome back. Here is the article. We're going to get started right at the top, except not really, because I can't read this at all, unfortunately. But I just wanted to show you the article. There it is. Take a look. Now, I did get it translated via a website, which I will provide you the name of right now. It is called translate.yandex.com. So that website, let me translate it. The text is, the formatting, it's like two blocks, the English and then the Japanese, and it wouldn't all fit in display capture. So I'm just going to read it to you, like right now. Here's how we're going to do it. Let me bring the mic a little bit closer, and here's what the article reads, apparently. Of course, I might paraphrase certain terminology. You guys know how it is. From the top. The voice that seems to have been recorded in the English version of Dragon Ball Z by Funimation was leaked, and Sean Sumuru, who played the role of Goku, and other voice actors of the same work, revealed remarks of certain people and contemptuous jokes, including content of disparaging type of content. Several recordings were revealed in a 3-hour, 30-minute Rekieta Law livestream by one, according to attorney Nick Likeda. And what? Why did it start? It's saying Likeda now. That's funny. Likeda, I guess because the R and the L. Likeda notes that the jokes of the voice actors violate the rules of employment of Funimation. He also claims to have obtained all recordings in a perfectly 100% legal way and has been speaking of publishing them in his position as a journalist. Funimation is an entertainment company famous for the cooperation of the delivery and English dubbing of Dragon Ball Z produced by Toei Animation in the United States. Multiple recordings have different themes and varying degrees of issues. Schumer, I guess, Schumer is probably Schemmel, right? Schumer, who talks as Goku. So they've called him, at least according to the translation. These translations usually aren't perfect, and sometimes that's even putting it lightly. Sometimes they're really bad. It's just funny, though. They translate Sean Schemmel's name as Sumaru, and then Schumer, who talks as Goku, slanders the son of his character with a derogatory word in some very insulting recordings. In another recording, voice actors use licensed music, and that's one of the biggest problems I have with this whole thing. I've brought this up already. Mostly in live streams, though, so if you haven't heard my streams, you might have missed this point, maybe. It's the licensed music of Bruce Faulkner. Iconic music. Like, if you watch Dragon Ball Z growing up, chances are you're going to have those OST songs stuck in your head. If you hear, like, the first 5 seconds of it, you're going to know the rest of that OST because it's iconic. It fits the show so well, and Bruce did a great job, in my opinion, on the OST there. Now, whatever falling out happened between him and whatever parties were involved, I don't really know about all that stuff, but I did like his OST, and I thought it was very inappropriate for Funimation to seemingly use that OST in their little skit they did, the long 4-minute skit. Very inappropriate content in that skit. They used Bruce Faulkner's music and therefore attached his name to it as well. And if the contract that Bruce had signed when they, brought him on board to do the work for the OST, I'm going to assume that it was only for the official release. That's an assumption. I don't know. Maybe he just did the work for them and they owned the content from that point on. Doubt that, especially because the falling out that allegedly happened and the fact that they don't use the tracks anymore would more so point to the fact that they don't own the tracks anymore. Or who knows? The point is, though, I really doubt that Bruce is okay with his music being used. in this manner, whether it's a breach of contract or not. And specifically Toei, this is their IP, and Funimation licensing that intellectual property has a duty not to harm the IP. And it seems like this certainly was not them taking that seriously, taking that duty seriously. And the other point I keep getting at is, to me, it seems like potential negligence, because they recorded this skit, which should have never been recorded in the first place. I believe 2012 Jameson and Midrian Emmers and I had a good chat about this a few days ago in stream. I think it was those two. Pretty sure. And yeah, we were talking about that in the chat. It never should have happened to begin with, but it did. And then from that point on, I think it's certainly an argument there that could point to negligence, because they did make it, and though they shouldn't have, they had an opportunity to delete it, because these are probably very old clips, years and years old. You will hear the other side use that as a talking point to defend them, and I'm here to tell you that that doesn't make it better. As a matter of fact, you can spin it on them and say that it makes it worse, because the fact that they just kept it on the servers for years and years and years and years is negligence, in my opinion. Never should have happened, and if anything, they should have deleted it. But look what happened now. They didn't delete it. They neglected to do the right thing. It was just sitting there on servers, and now it got leaked, and now the IP it's getting slung through the mud because of this stuff. So that's my take on that. We're not done with the article yet, though. We left off right about here. In another recording, voice actors use licensed music to perform voice drama about certain adult themes with multiple characters. In a short recording, Chi-Chi's voice even jokes about a relationship with Gohan. And relationship as in going all the way as well. Yeah. There you go. Great job, Funimation. The leaked recordings include the voices of Krillin, Mr. Popo, Yamcha, and Hercule. IGN inquired Funimation about the recording, but the company responded that, quote, regarding this story, Funimation has no comment. And then the article finishes up by saying, we can't assert that the recording is real because we couldn't get any official information from Funimation. Okay, so that's a little disclaimer there. We can't assert that the recording is real because we couldn't get any official information from Funimation, but the voices in the recording seem to match the characters of the Dragon Ball franchise. So a few articles I read covering the situation did also take that approach. It's just totally, it's for liability's sake. I guess you don't know for sure. Now, reasonable person, if this comes from Funimation and the voice sounds exactly like the VA, what's the reasonable assumption on that? But these articles are playing it safe, and that's understandable. That's why in these videos we use allegedly and things like that so much. It's just playing it safe. So then the final area of the article writes, in the United States, the leak has trended around Funimation on Twitter and other social media, and shocked fans are posting protests and criticisms of Funimation. As a member of the community, I feel nauseated by Funimation using Sean Schemmel, who is a person who does not support the rights of certain people. You guys know what I'm getting at, I'm sure. And finally, it finishes up by saying Funimation recently ended a cooperative relationship with voice actor Vic Mignogna, who also appeared in many anime such as Full Metal Alchemist and Dragon Ball Super Blurry. The translation literally says Dragon Ball Super Blurry, like a blurry image. It's funny. Mignogna, and then it mentions the claims against him very briefly in the end. Just a single sentence. So that's the article, and if you read the English IGN article, it's pretty similar. It's almost the exact same, I think, based off my memory. But I read that article 2 days ago, so my memory isn't entirely fresh, but I believe it's pretty identical to that. So it's just unfortunate, man. It really is. This stuff, it shouldn't happen. This never should have been recorded. Funimation, they had such a good thing going for them, and this is like one of the most disappointing things. A lot of us grew up with Funimation. Funimation has had the opportunity not only to create goodwill over a period of 10 years or more than that, but they had the opportunity to earn that goodwill when people are young and impressionable, and they're going to be nostalgic about it as they get older. And they had golden intellectual property with Dragon Ball, and they have other IP that's very valuable as well. I believe One Piece, I think they licensed that, and other IP, Dragon Ball's not their only work. It's certainly one of their flagship products, though. And they have this opportunity to be really successful in the marketplace, and they have been pretty dang successful. But we can see that a lot of the people at the top of Funimation really don't seem to be business people. They are unprofessional. They will go after the people that support them just to get talking points in their clique. Very unprofessional, a waste of an opportunity, a waste of a fandom, a waste of goodwill, and it just shows how selfish, in my opinion, they are. When you read these filings that came out the other day, the affidavits from Huber, from Slatosh, I think I was mispronouncing his name in the other video, sorry about that, but you read this stuff and you see how Funimation has been working behind the scenes, and man, it shouldn't have been like this. It really shouldn't. Again, Funimation is a company that we grew up with, a lot of us, myself included, a name that literally made us happy, man. When you would watch Toonami or whatever and you see that logo come up on the screen, you'd be happy. You'd be happy because you know you're going to get some good content. And to be fair, Funimation VAs, some of them do good work and some of them are not involved in this situation at all, to be fair. But certainly there's some very shady things going on with Funimation. For example, from the affidavits we have these claims of a casting couch being ran and certain duties being required of the female VAs and other people associated with the company, maybe, that they were required to do certain things to maintain a position or get a better position. Very shady. On top of that, Gen Fukunaga, his friendship with Chris Sabat seems very, very shady in of itself, especially because Sabat runs Acrux 5000, a competitive company. In my opinion, it's a competitor. But then you have Chris having so much weight at Funimation, definitely feels like a conflict of interest. And Gen kind of being buddy-buddy with Sabat. It's weird, man. It's really weird. And I really wonder what Sony thinks about all this stuff, if they know about all of it. And maybe they're finding out about it now, because I doubt they knew about all of this stuff to the extent that it really was going on behind the scenes. On that note, I think we should definitely consider keeping an eye on Chuck Huber and Christopher Slatosh. They both put themselves in very precarious positions now, coming forward with the affidavits that they have given and the information that they are revealing about this company, Funimation. And while, you know, Huber and Slatosh have some pull in the industry, they got some power on their own. Certainly, it's a fearful thing to be going up against a company. I know how that is to a lesser extent. It's not a fun thing. It's really not. So I think we should keep an eye on those guys. And, you know, that's really going to be your opinion. Do you think Slatosh did a good thing? Do you think Huber did a good thing? Can you support them? Do you want to support them? Consider giving them a follow on Twitter, whatever it is. You know, supporting what they do, however you feel it's right, however you can. Just some food for thought there. I don't know too much about the two of them, to be honest, to be completely honest. So I'm not telling you to do something one way or the other. I'm just kind of voicing my opinion on it. So let's just clarify that. Just some thoughts here at the end of the video as we wrap this one up. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're not. Turn the notification bell on. All these things can support the channel. And if you want to take it a step further, we have links below to merch, Teespring, Patreon, PayPal, Streamlabs, all that good stuff. But of course, Teespring and Patreon, you get some perks back, whether it's merch or Discord perks and things like that on the Patreon. So that's that. And, join the Discord server, by the way. Link in the description. The Discord's really been popping off recently. I think you would enjoy it there. And shouts out to Mr. Nemesis 97, the Lancaster Kid, Citizens of the World, Random Fandom, Yamitora 1, Mr. Anime 343, Samantha Miyu, Anthony Valadez, Geeky Kitty, Joshua Boston, for helping to promote the last video I made over on Twitter. Thank you very much for your support, my friends. And that's the end of this one as well. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Peace.